Welcome to Scholastic IQ, the game where knowledge rules. I'm your host, Ethan Neer, and we have a fantastic show planned for you tonight. But before we get into that show, let's introduce our teams. On the bottom, we have Saxony Lutheran with Jayla, Matthew, Mark, and Cassandra. And on the top, we have probably, I guess you'd be considered the hometown favorites. I mean, I know it's not Carbondale, but close enough. We have Braden, Caden, Jace, and Samuel. Now, before we get into our questions, we'll just do a quick reminder of our rules. We'll start off with some toss-up questions. Each of those will be worth 10 points. If a team gets it right, they get to move on to a bonus question. That is worth 20 points. However, a team can steal a bonus question for 10 points. You guys are allowed to interrupt me at any time, but if you interrupt me and get the question wrong, it is 5 points for the other team. So if you're gonna do it, make sure you do it right. And if you guys understand the rules and we're all good, let's get into the questions. What national park, whose namesake river flooded in June 2022 and caused this park's closure, is in Wyoming? Matthew.
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone National Park is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what quantity measured in watts, which is bounded by the Eddington limit, quantifies the power radiated by an astronomical body?
Electricity.
Electricity is incorrect. Marion, chance to steal.
Energy.
The answer we're looking for there was luminosity. Luminosity. Takes to our next question. What unit equal to just under 150 million kilometers is approximately the distance between the Earth and the Sun and is abbreviated AU? Caden.
Oops. 93 million miles. Okay.
That is incorrect. Saxony Lutheran, you guys can still buzz that. Mark.
Astronomical unit.
Astronomical units is correct. Well done, Mark. And for your bonus, Stephanie Beatrice voiced Mirabelle, the only non-magical member of what family at the center of the movie Encanto?
Patrical.
Can you say it again?
Patrical.
Patrical is incorrect. Marion.
Madrigals.
Madrigal is correct. I think, Jayla, I think you knew exactly what it was. I think you just mispronounced it there. Well done, Marion. On our next question, what peninsula is west of the Kirk Strait, is home to the cities of Yalta and Sevastopol, and was controversially annexed by Russia? Mark.
Crimea.
Crimea is correct, or the Crimean Peninsula. For your bonus, what lake, the largest in Africa by area, contains the source of the White Nile?
Victoria.
Lake Victoria is correct. Well done. For our next question, what author who created Detective Dirk Gently wrote about a computer that gives the confounding answer 42 in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Fantastic movie if you haven't seen it. It's amazing. Mark.
Sagan. Carl Sagan.
Carl Sagan is incorrect. It is way too funny of a book to be written by Carl Sagan. Best character in that movie, a very depressed robot who's just super sad all the time and hates his life. The answer to that was Douglas Noel Adams was the author. I'll take us to our next toss-up. Who composed the arias Vecchia Zamara, which is sung to an overcoat, and Che Gelida Malina, which is sung by Rodolfo Tamimi in La Boheme? Mark.
Johannes Brahms.
That is incorrect. The answer we're looking for was Giacomo Puccini. And for our next question, pencil and paper ready. What is the only x-intercept or root of y equals x squared minus 6x plus 9? Given, Kate.
3.
3 is correct. Very well done. Nice. For your bonus, Vin Scully, who died in 2022 at the age of 94, served as the broadcast voice of what Major League Baseball team for 67 years?
The Dodgers.
The LA Dodgers is correct. Well done. I should expect the team in baseball-themed uniforms should get the baseball question correct. Well done there. And now we'll take us to our first media question. This Canadian professional ice hockey player serves as the captain of the Pittsburgh Penguins in the National Hockey League. Nicknamed the Next One, this player is widely regarded as one of the greatest hockey players of all time. I mean, that's maybe that's too nice of a compliment. Name this player. He was also the scorer of the golden goal in the 2010 Vancouver Olympics that helped Team Canada get the victory over the US. You guys are all out of time. Answer is Sidney Crosby. Sid the Kid, captain of the Pittsburgh Penguins. And even if you guys have gotten that right, just so you know, on media questions, there is no bonus question. Please take it right back to a toss-up. For your next question, what author who Abraham Lincoln called the little woman who wrote the book that started Samuel?
Harriet Beecher Stowe.
Harriet Beecher Stowe is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what character played by Kirsten Dunst and Florence Pugh in film adaptations of Little Women is the youngest sister of Meg, Jo, and Beth March?
No answer.
No answer. Saxony Lutheran, a chance to steal.
Mary.
Mary is incorrect. The answer we're looking for was Amy. Thanks to our next question. In what country where Democrats 66 and the VVD form part of the ruling coalition do politicians like Mark Rutte and Geert Wilders meet in The Hague?
The Netherlands.
Netherlands is correct. Well, for your bonus, what black religious leader mentored Malcolm X while leading the Nation of Islam from 1934 to 1975?
Louis Farrakhan.
Louis Farrakhan is incorrect. Saxony Lutheran, chance assumes.
Williams.
Williams is incorrect. The incorrect answer was Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad. For our next question, what predators have both carelessary and spinnerets have hobo, brown recluse, and black widow varieties and comprise the largest group of arachnids? Katie.
Spiders.
Spiders is correct. Well done. For your bonus, pencil and paper ready. How many rounds are needed for a 32-team single elimination tournament, assuming that no team receives a bye?
4.
4 is incorrect. Saxony Lutheran, a chance to steal.
5.
5 is correct. Well done. For our next question, what Greek goddess who preserved the 100 eyes of the monster Argos by placing them on the tail of the peacock ruled as queen?
Hera.
Hera is correct. Well done. For your bonus, after being convicted of gross indecency, Oscar Wilde was eventually sent to what prison, the title setting of a ballad that Wilde published in 1898?
No answer.
Saxony Lutheran, a chance to steal.
Alcatraz.
Alcatraz is incorrect. The answer we're looking for was the Reading Jail. For your next question, what author described a ruinous lawsuit in his novel Bleak House and depicted Estella's lonely childhood with Miss Havisham in Great Expectations? Cassandra.
Charles Dickens.
Charles Dickens is correct. Well done. For your bonus, in what country did Karachi-born Benazir Bhutto serve 2 terms as prime minister before being assassinated near Islamabad?
Pakistan.
Pakistan is correct. Well done. The next question, what emperor was served by the minister Lisi, ending the Warring States period, was buried with the Terracotta Army and founded the Qin dynasty? Samuel.
Qin Shi Huangdi.
Qin Shi Huangdi is correct. Well done. For your bonus, in CGS units, a proportionality constant of 1 appears in what law, which gives the inverse square electrostatic force between 2 point charges?
No answer.
No answer. Saxony Lutheran, a chance to steal. So you guys are all out of time. The answer we're looking for there was Coulomb's law. Coulomb's law. And that'll take us to another media question. This instrument is used by the character Marceline. Mark.
Bass.
We are willing to just take bass. That is correct. I didn't know if we needed the full axe bass name, but we will just take bass. Well done. Back to the toss-ups. What disease, which develops when beta cells in the pancreas are destroyed, is characterized by high blood glucose and a need for injected insulin? Jayla.
Diabetes.
Diabetes is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what Englishman mourned the 1833 death of his friend Arthur H. Hallam in the short poem Break, 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 as well as the elegy In Memoriam A.H.H.?
Hemingway.
Hemingway is incorrect.
Longfellow.
Longfellow is also incorrect. The correct answer we're looking for was Alfred Lord Tennyson. Alfred Lord Tennyson. Your next toss-up. What novel depicts a dog named Pilot who resides at Thornfield Hall, ends with the narrator's marriage to Mr. Rochester, and is by Charlotte Bronte? Cassandra.
Dog's Way Home.
Dog's Way Home is incorrect. Great.
Pride and Prejudice.
Pride and Prejudice is also incorrect. The answer we're looking for was Jane Eyre, excuse me. For your next toss-up, what national leader introduced the new economic policy, took power in the October Revolution, and was a Bolshevik who formed...
Vladimir Lenin.
Vladimir Lenin is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what British chemist who used X-rays to show that an element's defining characteristic is its atomic number was killed in 1915 during World War I?
Mendev.
Mendev is incorrect. Saxony Lutheran, a chance to steal. So you guys are all out of time. The answer you're looking for was Henry Moseley. Henry Moseley. Back to the toss-ups. What building, which is depicted on the reverse of the bicentennial half dollar, is named after a document that was approved there on July 4th, 1776? Mark.
Freedom Hall.
Freedom Hall is not the answer we're looking for. Jace.
Constitution Hall.
Constitution Hall, unfortunately also not the right answer. We're looking for Independence Hall. Very close to both of those answers, just not on the money. And that will now take us to our lightning round. The way our lightning round works is both teams will have 60 seconds to answer as many questions as they can about a particular topic. Now, Saxony Lutheran, since you guys are leading Marion, you guys will get to pick your first topic. So your topics are the Book of Exodus, Conquerors and Commanders, classic film quotes, and the letter H.
We'll do the Book of Exodus.
Book of Exodus it is. Answer the following questions about the Book of Exodus. I will give you 60 seconds on the clock. I will count you down. 3, 2, 1. The book preceding Exodus in the Old Testament.
Genesis.
That's correct. Prophet who leads the Israelites out of Egypt.
Moses.
That's correct. Number of plagues God sent against the Egyptian.
10.
That's correct. Sea that parts for the Israelites on their flight from Egypt.
Red.
That's correct. Jewish holiday commemorating the Exodus.
Passover.
That's correct. Edible substance sent by God during the Israelites wandering in the desert.
Manna.
That's correct. Verb used twice in the English translation of God's statement, Oyeh Asher Oyeh.
Pass.
Mountain upon which God dictates the Ten Commandments.
Sinai.
Sinai is correct. First hereditary high priest of the Israelites.
Aaron.
Aaron is correct. Idol briefly worshipped by the Israelites before it's destroyed.
Golden calf.
Golden calf is correct. Verb used twice in the English translation of God's statement, Oyeh Asher Oyeh.
Live.
Live is incorrect. The answer we're looking for there was am. I am that I am, or I am what I am, was that passage. But I mean, top to bottom, well done, Marion, getting 9 out of 10, putting yourselves at 190 after that. Now, Saxony Lutheran, your guys' turn to answer. Your remaining topics are Conquerors and Commanders, classic film quotes, or the letter H.
Well, Conquerors.
Conquerors and Commanders it is. Name these leaders and statesmen known for their military exploits. I'll give you 60 seconds on the clock and count you down. 3, 2, 1. The first Holy Roman Emperor crowned in 800.
Charlemagne.
Charlemagne is correct. Fearsome king of the Huns from 434 to 453.
Attila.
Attila is correct. Founder of the Mongol Empire.
Genghis Khan.
Genghis Khan is correct. generalissimo who won the Spanish Civil War.
Pass.
Roman general who joined Caesar and Crassus in the first triumvirate.
Pass.
Mexican caudillo captured at the Battle of San Jacinto.
Pass.
First president of Gran Colombo who is known as El Libertado.
Simon Bolivar.
Simon Bolivar is correct. Zulu leader who favored the Iquila spear over the assegai.
Pass.
Victor at the Battle of Sekigahara who inaugurated a namesake Japanese shogunate.
Pass.
President who is NATO's first supreme allied commander in Europe.
Biden.
Biden is incorrect. Generalissimo who won the Spanish Civil War. Sorry, you guys are all out of time. The Generalissimo who won the Spanish Civil War was Francisco Franco. The Roman general who joined Caesar and Crassus in the first triumvirate was Pompey. The Mexican caudillo captured at the Battle of San Jacinto was Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna. And the Zulu leader who favored the Iquila spear over the assegai was Shaka Zulu. The victor at the Battle of Sekigahara who inaugurated namesake Japanese shogunate was Tokugawa Ieyasu. And the president who was NATO's first supreme allied commander in Europe was Dwight D. Eisenhower. Well done, Saxony Lutheran. Let's just take a look at our scores after the lightning round. Marion recapturing that lead after a strong performance in the lightning round. Well done. But Saxony, still plenty of time to catch up in the back half. Let's take it to more toss-ups. What name is shared by a Massachusetts town that is home to the Old North Bridge and a city in Merrimack County? Samuel.
Concord.
Concord is correct. Well done. For your bonus, in what state did the winning Republican gubernatorial candidate run a 2021 ad suggesting that the novel Beloved should be banned from schools?
Virginia.
Virginia is correct. Well done. I'll take us to the next toss-up. What device is a massless one of which forms part of an ideal Atwood machine, consists of a rope running over a wheel, and are used to lift loads? Mark.
Pulley.
Pulley is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what 19th century German philosopher was an idealist who wrote about the master-slave dialectic in his book, The Phenomenology of Spirit?
Marx.
Marx is incorrect.
Nietzsche.
Nietzsche is also incorrect. The answer we're looking for was G.W.F. Hegel. G.W.F. Hegel. Braden, I'm getting the sense you might have known that one. That was the other one you're thinking of. I'll get him on next. For your next toss-up, what author is usually credited with writing Prometheus Bound and depicted a king returning from Troy in Agamemnon, the first play of Orestia? Mark.
Homer.
Homer is incorrect. Jace.
Euripides.
Euripides is also incorrect. The answer we're looking for was Aeschylus. Aeschylus. For your next question, I was hoping we wouldn't get to this question because that's a lot of hard words. What monarch who was the sixth Way Taliani was succeeded by Cuelhuac following his death during Hernan Cortez's invasion of the Aztec Empire?
Montezuma.
Montezuma is correct. Well done. And for your bonus question, pencil and paper ready. Given your answer is simplified radical form, what is the product of the square root of 10 times the square root of 6?
Two root 15.
2 root 15 is correct. Well done, Caden. I'll take us back to the toss-ups. What painting technique in which artists paint onto a layer of intonaco consisting of wet plaster has a name deriving from the Italian for fresh? Samuel.
Fresco.
Fresco is correct. Well done. Not to be confused with fresca, the delicious drink. For your bonus, what type of kinetic sculpture exemplified by Alexander Calder's lobster trap and a fishtail includes objects that can be moved by air currents?
No answer.
No answer. Saxony Lutheran, a chance to steal.
Flag art.
Flagrat is incorrect. The answer we're looking for was mobile. Like, the ones that like the little babies have, but apparently it's also an art sculpture. For the next toss-up, what American author of Dragon Seed and East Wind, West Wind wrote about Olan and her husband, the farmer Wang Lung, in her novel The Good Earth? Mark.
Brown.
Brown is incorrect. So you guys are all out of time. The answer we're looking for there was Pearl S. Buck. Pearl S. Buck. For your next question, what explorer and scout who forced Navajo civilians onto the long walk to Bosque Redondo, guided John C. Fremont and names the capital city of Nevada? Matthew.
Carson.
Carson is correct. Well done, Kate Carson. For your bonus, P waves in the earth and sound waves in air exemplify what type of wave for which the oscillations are parallel to the direction of propagation? Sorry, you guys are all out of time. Marion, a chance to steal.
No answer.
The answer looking for there was longitudinal. Back to the toss-ups. What composer used a two-note viola motif to depict a barking dog in the part of his contest between harmony and invention known as The Four Seasons? Caden.
Vivaldi.
Vivaldi is correct, and let it be known, spring, the worst of all of those movements. Spring is garbage. Hot take. Winter is the best. For your bonus, what state is home to the tourist destination Wall Drug and to an annual motorcycle rally in its city of Sturgis?
Florida.
Florida is incorrect. And Saxony Lutheran, a chance to steal.
South Dakota.
South Dakota is correct, making Christian behind the camera very happy. South Dakota native Christian knew that one all the way. And that'll take us to another media question. This 2022 Disney cartoon created by Dana Terrace involves the misadventure, Cassandra.
Owl House?
The Owl House is correct. Well done. For your next toss-up, what religion whose adherents are divided into mansions and follow the vegetarian Ital diet reveres Haile Selassie and developed in Jamaica? Braden.
Rastafarianism.
Rastafarianism is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what author who described a Bible salesman who steals a woman's wooden leg in the story Good Country People wrote, "A good man is hard to find"?
No answer.
No answer. Saxony Lutheran, a chance to steal here.
Williams.
Williams is incorrect. The answer looking for was Flannery O'Connor. Back to the toss-ups. What cabinet department, which until 2003 oversaw the Secret Service, was led in the Civil War by Salmon Chase and in the 1790s by Alexander Hamilton? Mark.
Homeland Security.
Homeland Security is incorrect. Marion, a chance to steal.
Secretary of State.
Secretary of State is also incorrect. It's the Department of the Treasury. Alexander Hamilton, famous for making the National Bank, it's the Department of the Treasury. For the toss-up, what world leader who is the general secretary of the WPK party promotes the ideology of the Juche in his role as supreme leader? Braden.
Kim Jong-un.
Kim Jong-un is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what Dutch scientist modified the ideal gas equation to include the finite size of gas molecules and names a type of weak non-binding interaction?
Doyle.
Can you say that again?
Doyle.
Doyle is incorrect.
Hans.
Hans is also incorrect. The answer we're looking for was Johannes Diedrich van der Waals. For your next question, what musical, which begins with an auction for a chandelier, contains songs like The Music of the Night and was written by Andrew Lloyd Webber? Katie.
Phantom of the Opera.
Phantom of the Opera is correct. Well done. For your bonus, what German author wrote about a love triangle between Albert Lotte and a sensitive artist in a 1774 novel titled The Sorrows of Young Werther?
Goethe.
Goethe is correct. Well done. And that bell means that is all the time we have for on today's show. So let's take a look at the score. On top, we have Marion at 410 and Saxony Lutheran at 195. So Marion just taking control from the bonus round and never really letting go. Well done to you. So that is all the time we have on today's show. For our lovely contestants here today and all the people like Christian working hard behind the camera, I'm Ethan Neer. Thank you so much and good night.